The CMA has posted a letter, interestingly, from a market participant, which I believe means some company that is also in the games industry. And the letter seems to absolutely support the Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard. In addition, Bloomberg is reporting that Microsoft has made a very juicy offer to PlayStation that I'd be surprised if they end up turning down. Let's talk about it right now. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to know when my content goes live. Thank you so much for watching. Diving right into it, we have this letter from a market participant, whatever that means, about the Activision Blizzard statement. But while I was reading through this, another story broke that I want to talk about really quick. Microsoft's offer to Sony for Call of Duty includes subscription service. So that means that if Sony were to accept the 10-year deal, that they could also put Call of Duty on PlayStation Plus, according to this Bloomberg source. It wouldn't let me highlight, so let's just go to some of the key statements. In a bid to win regulatory approval for its $69 billion deal. Let's zoom that in a little bit. Microsoft has offered rival Sony Corp the right to sell Activision blockbuster Call of Duty as part of its gaming subscription service. So the play there is Microsoft will allow Sony to have Call of Duty on PlayStation Plus. Will they have Call of Duty on Xbox Game Pass? The question is, what are the details of that deal? What is the cut that Microsoft gets? Is Microsoft thinking, okay, well, we get a cut of sales of those games that people choose to purchase them in full because they've experienced them on PlayStation Plus? Are we just worried about microtransactions? I'm a little, I'm very curious about what their angle is there, because to me, it seems like the smart thing to do is have it on Game Pass on Xbox and PlayStation players play full price, and then the market sort of evens out. Maybe regulators are saying, nope, it has to be on PlayStation Plus also. I don't know. But continuing on, Microsoft has publicly stated that it offered Sony a 10-year deal to make Call of Duty available on the Japanese company's PlayStation console. The proposal, which Sony hasn't accepted, also includes rights to sell the title on the PlayStation Plus service, which gives gamers access to a catalog of games for a monthly fee, according to a person familiar with the negotiations who declined to be identified because the talks are confidential. I'm going to read through this one more time. So they offered 10 years. The proposal, Sony hasn't accepted yet, allows them to sell the games on PlayStation Plus. I mean, if you're Sony, the main reason that you wouldn't accept this is because right now the regulators have the whole deal tied up. The deal is tied up in the UK. The deal is tied up in the US with the FTC filing their suit. You can watch that video up here or wherever it appears. I'll post it up there. So I suppose the only question would be, why accept right now? Microsoft is having a very difficult time with regulators, with the CMA doing an investigation, and with the FTC also having some questions for them. So I don't know if there's any benefit to them accepting the deal right now. However, maybe there's like an expiration where it goes off the table. I tweeted this at Hoglaw quote tweeted me, and he seems to disagree, but I'm just left wondering, why would you accept right now? They're tied up with the FTC. They're tied up with the CMA. The EU regulators are still looking at it. Sure, it's been approved in other places, but if you're Sony, you're sitting kind of pretty right now. Why would you suddenly accept this deal that might make it easier for Microsoft to go through the regulatory process? Unless there's a timestamp on it. That's the only angle I could think of. Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass is the leader in the video game and cloud gaming subscription market and is a concern of regulators in the US, UK, and European Union. Last week, the FTC said it's seeking to block the merger on grounds that it would enable Microsoft to suppress competitors to its Xbox gaming consoles and its rapidly growing subscription content and cloud gaming business. I have to wonder if that acknowledgement about the cloud gaming business is why the offer has been extended. And also they go on to say that Sony didn't immediately reply to comment, and Microsoft declined to comment on the specifics of their offer to Sony. So the main concern has been that Microsoft is going to have this super unfair advantage. So they've extended a 10-year deal to Nintendo, which Nintendo has signed. They extended a 10-year deal to Valve, and Valve said, no, we trust Microsoft. And now we're getting this report from Bloomberg saying that Sony has been offered basically the same package that Microsoft will be offering their customers. And the only thing I'm left wondering is, what's the angle there at that point? I feel like yeah, you're not going to get revenue from PlayStation Plus. You're only going to get like a certain amount of revenue. So there has to be an agreement of some sort. You can bring it to PlayStation Plus. Here's how much money we want to allow you to do that. Maybe it's the same money that they would regularly pay for that timed exclusivity that they would have for betas and such. But I just don't see the angle for Microsoft here. Maybe they think they'll make more money that way if it's also on PlayStation Plus, or maybe it's just to appease the regulators. I'm honestly not sure. For me, the smartest play is I'm just thinking out loud here, right? The smartest play is to put Call of Duty on Game Pass, all of Call of Duty. And sure, they get all the other Activision properties that can be on Game Pass too. Seeing Call of Duty has been such a focus, maybe they allow it for this one, but there's other games in the works in Activision that would be part of Game Pass and not on PlayStation. I would imagine that a lot of games just stop coming to PlayStation. Sure, Call of Duty is one of those games that are just like a cultural phenomenon, right? Microsoft wants to keep it on the PlayStation because they're going to make billions of dollars from PlayStation, or like $1 billion every year from PlayStation just for having it over there. But when you put it on PlayStation subscription service, that bolsters your competition's subscription service. Bloomberg doesn't really miss with their reports. They're often, they have their finger on the button as to what's going on. So I'm left wondering what the play is here. Anyway, we're going to do the next video about the full CMA statement, and I'll reference this one in that video. I just started reading it out loud and I realized, oh, okay, well, this is like a good length for a video, but there's not much more to dive into. This offer is on the table, 10 years. You can put it on PlayStation Plus. At this point, Sony has no reason to turn it down. The only reason they're turning it down is because Microsoft gets to be tied up a little bit longer. And if they're tied up long enough, they're going to hit that $500 million deadline. And they're going to have to look at their deal and say, do we still want to pursue this? And maybe it all falls apart. And that's what Sony wants. That's what Sony really wants. They want it to all fall apart for Microsoft because it's a really good buy for Microsoft and it has Sony worried. Anyway, that's it for this video. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to know when my content goes live. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much to the members for supporting. And if you want to watch one video, check out my video yesterday where I talk about where Microsoft really needs to figure out a release cadence for their games and why it's very important they have a strong 2023 deals and such notwithstanding. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to get out of here and I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now, everybody.